to answer this one. Were you raised in a religious environment? The reason I ask that is it's just been my experience here on YouTube and on Stickam that the atheists I've come across, particularly the ones who seem to have an out for Christianity more than others, were raised in a Christian or Catholic environment. This almost seems unanimous from my experience. So were you raised in a religious environment? And if you were, do you think that had any impact on your atheism? And if so...
Okay, I can answer this question, hopefully, at least from the perspective that I'm in, fairly honestly. I was an atheist for a long period of time in my life. And I was raised in what I would call a household that was open to religious experimentation. My mother is Lutheran, but did not force me to go to church. She would ask me if I wanted to go to church. But beyond that, anywhere I wanted to go to church, they would allow me to go and they would facilitate it. For example, if I wanted to go to a Baptist church for one weekend or another, or a series of them, I was allowed to do that. If I wanted to go to Buddhist meetings, I was allowed to do that. If I did not want to go to any kind of meeting, I was allowed to do that. So I was allowed to experiment and try to find my own place and what I wanted. So to answer your question, a religious household, in a way, yes. I think a lot of times, though, what people are asking when they ask that question is, was I forced to go to church and was I forced to practice a certain religion that perhaps I wasn't inclined towards or didn't want to? And that answer would be no.
I was raised in a very religious home, as if I was supposed to go to church, forced to pray, and stuff like that. Does it affect my atheism? I spent a year and a half or so as a pagan, and I think that impacted my atheism much more than my Christianity. The ideas that I have of Christianity now aren't really based on the ideas I had as a Christian. That might be the case for a lot of other people, but maybe not.
At the outset, I find it very curious that he would ask if we had a background as a Christian or a Catholic.
Ouch.
Wow. Wow. Marriage has put a fine pair of brass balls on you, buddy. A Christian or a Catholic. My, that's a pretty fascinating distinction right there.
Well, he didn't talk about the Mormons.
Marty's woken up just long enough to find out that he's not Christian.
Well, I hope you're happy, because we're going to have to tell him when he wakes up.
Right. It's going to be like being adopted.
Yeah, it's
being
not.
told, stole his childhood.
No, it's not even like being adopted. It's like I don't know, finding out waking up one morning and finding out that you're actually a wombat.
Damn! My whole life has been a lie!
Exactly. All this time I thought I was Homo sapien, but I am actually a wombat. Because, of course, evangelical Protestants have the authority to make those sorts of determinations.
Yep.
Yeah. Religious background. I was born on a seminary campus, and a fairly reputable one. And the long and short of it is yes. Did it influence my worldview? Well, yes. religiously oriented drive of my family metaculture influence my views? Well, yeah. Much in the same way that I would imagine that as someone born into a family of professional hockey players would find that their views on hockey had somehow been influenced. What kind of question is that? Are we trying to draw some sort of causal link? Because that seems to be implicit in the argument. That seems to be implied.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Is it seems like the question is pointed, and whether intended or not, the way that it's been phrased and set up in the series of questions and the environment that it's been set up in, is it seems like he's kind of slipping in that atheists are atheists because they're mad at their mommy and daddy for making them go to church. That's what it seems
I
like.
am totally pissed at my mommy and daddy for making me go to church.
Do you see what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And that they're not actually thinking about their atheism, and they haven't arrived at that conclusion through reasonable means, but that it's a reactionary, emotional state against their childhood development or something. They're pissed off and they're rebelling against their parents by being atheists. That's just what it seems like to me. And I think, and I'm not even of the camp of atheism. So I just look at it from where I'm at, and I'm like, wow, that's really pointy. Just like the last question where I was like, wow, that's so insulting. I don't understand.
Balls. Big brass balls. Hope you're putting them to good use.
Veritas, I realize that you may not have intended any of this, but it's amazing how subjective meaning really is.
Exactly. No, and it comes down to like if I know that certain things piss off people, I try to avoid them when I'm interacting with them for the most part, because I'm not here to try to piss off people. I'm trying to communicate with people. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't ask a Christian, I don't know, hey, do you really get off on images of Christ like bleeding on the cross? Does that make you hot? Why is it in Mel Gibson's Passion of the Christ they focus on the pain and suffering of Jesus so much? And why is it like so many different religions? And especially if I was addressing this to somebody who was a part of one of these religions who focuses on that as somehow a triumph of Christ, his suffering. Does that get you off? What's triumphant about suffering? In
Why is it that the Passion
Isn't that
of the Christ-
insulting? Isn't that insulting?
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah.
why are you getting off on pain? But I don't ask questions like that. I don't bring them up to people because I don't think that usually when people think about that stuff, I don't really think that they are. I think that they're probably thinking something else about it. And I give them the benefit of the doubt because I don't want to vilify them.
Crucifixes, Passion of Christ, Mel Gibson, all Catholic, he's Christian.
Oh,
that's right. That's right. I'm sorry. We were momentarily addressing Catholics, which, as we have been informed, are not Christians.
Okay. You're so right. I'm sorry for all of you Christians that I've offended out there
By comparing
by
you to
comparing
those
you to Catholics.